Taichung City volunteers make a map of vegetarian restaurants in Tanzi. A group of seniors carry out recycling diligently in an alley in Nangang, Taiwan. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In Taichung, city volunteers have made a map of vegetarian restaurants in Tanzi. Even if the restaurants cannot be found on Google Map, volunteers still located them. This is to ensure the vegetarian restaurant map is inclusive.
我现在做3杯杏鲍菇，我们要把它炸一下，它吃起来就会觉得 Q Q 的。这道菜九层塔。
In this dish, basil is the key spice. This is our number one dish for the day: 3-cup king oyster mushrooms.
食料理3杯杏鲍菇。
Some vegetarian restaurants are not found on Google Map. We're making a map of vegetarian restaurants in Tanzi. As long as we know where the vegetarian restaurants are, we'll include them on the map.
If more people embrace vegetarianism, the society will become more harmonious.
中山 Road is outside. This is Tanfu Road. Food and vegetarian restaurant is here. It is open to noontime. This restaurant cannot be found on Google Map. Since I worked around here before, I know there's a vegetarian restaurant.
Currently, we draw the map using Google Map as a base. I've discovered a problem. If we draw Letao Borough and Jixiang Vegetarian Restaurant with the way Google Map does it, the scale will be too big and we cannot fit it into an A4 size paper. We can enlarge our map, making the restaurant names, addresses, and phone numbers clearer. This way, vegetarians can find them more easily. It will be clearer. We've enlarged every restaurant.
There are about 30 vegetarian restaurants in Tanzi. She's an expert working in advertising company. She's good at making advertisements. I cannot do this. Sister Yuling has the expertise, so she helps us complete the work. She's a key person to its success. We first collected old Tzu Chi monthly magazines from Tzu Chi brothers and sisters. Then we placed our vegetarian promotion advertisement inside the magazines. Due to the pandemic, we cannot interact with people.
We purposely include vegetarian recipes inside the magazines, so people will see the recipes. Then they will be inspired to read our magazines.
My job is to place the advertisement in the magazines. We'll send them out after it's done. We'll place them in every mailboxes. Although it is hot, I feel very happy because we hope the temperature of the earth can improve. Therefore, we must go meatless. A vendor on the street of Tainan Model Market originally sold oyster fritters. Because of the ceremony in a local temple, she switched to sell veggie fritters. Unexpectedly, the business was even better than before.
On the street in front of the Model Market in Tainan, this sign of veggie fritter is quite conspicuous. 7 years ago, it sold oyster fritter originally, which is meat diet.
Vegetables are more fresh and sweet to eat, while meat oyster fritter tastes more fishy.
She used to sell meat oyster fritters. When we host the Taoist sacrificial ceremony at Model Daishan Temple here, we have to eat vegetarian food for a week. So she changed to sell veggie fritters. She said yes and wanted to change it back. I told her not to change it again.
Persuaded by Tzu Chi volunteers, Zhou Mei, who was about to change back to sell oyster fritters, decided not to have any bad affinity with all beings.
There are more vegetarian customers. I don't have to form bad affinity with animals.
It's quite delicious and doesn't have any oyster taste. The vegetables are naturally sweet and fresh.
She originally sold oyster fritter. After selling veggie fritters, the business was not bad, but even better. Those who eat meat diet can also have vegetarian fritter.
The change from selling meat diet to vegetarian food has made many vendors in the market turn into her regular customers. Selling veggie fritters to promote vegetarianism has become Zhou Mei's business of earning happiness every day.
The epidemic has impacted countless families financially. Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter has distributed cash vouchers to some students' families who are in difficult situations. 60 families have received Tzu Chi's cash vouchers. Tzu Chi volunteers are setting up the distribution venue. They distribute cash vouchers to Rifle Range Elementary School students' families in need.
Post-COVID recovery plan.
It is the distribution in the recovery stage of the epidemic. Due to the epidemic, the Education Bureau has told them parents and members of the public cannot go inside. Therefore, we cannot use the auditorium. We can only use this space.
The students and parents arrive at the scene, so the volunteers seize the opportunity to interact with the parents to understand their current situations. Then the distribution begins. Parents fill out forms, hoping this distribution will bring hope to their families.
The majority of the students here belong to the B40 group. And then some parents gave the feedback to them, yes, they lost their job. As you can see in the list here, their pay was slashed, and then their time of working was shortened and all that due to the COVID pandemic.
This cash voucher is worth 300 ringgits. You cannot use it to buy cigarettes or alcohol. It expires a year later.
In this distribution, Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter is working with supermarkets to provide cash vouchers so parents can buy daily supplies on their own.
We now provide convenience to the families. When they need something, they can find time to buy them there. It is a good opportunity for them to have a family day.
I am very grateful for the cash voucher. It relieves our financial burdens. I can use it to buy some kitchen supplies. I had a job before, but then I went through an accident and I can no longer carry heavy items. I feel a bit relieved receiving the cash vouchers. I can buy things for my family and purchase food for my children.
Tzu Chi volunteers have helped families of students at Rifle Range Elementary School, relieving their financial burdens. During the movement restriction order in Malaysia, some after-school class students in Penang were unable to join online teaching due to lack of equipment. After knowing the situation, Tzu Chi volunteers purchased brand new online teaching equipment with charity funds for the students.
During the movement restriction order, many schools adapted online teaching to teach students. However, most of the students of the after-school classes in Pandan Tambak were unable to join online teaching because they did not have sufficient equipment. After learning about the situation, Tzu Chi volunteers visited the students personally to understand their learning status.
We go there to care about them. First, we are afraid that they will not be able to keep up with the progress. Secondly, because of the use of online teaching, these children may not have the resources. Thirdly, as most of their parents get daily wages, their lives may be a bit harder, so we want to make sure if they're fine.
We only have one mobile phone, which is barely usable. As it is already very old, it can't run many programs, otherwise it will crash. So it's not good for attending online class. Sometimes I also need a mobile phone.
After many discussions, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to purchase brand new equipment with the charity fund and handed it to the students in person. A total of 80 mobile phones and 12 tablet computers were given to the elementary and middle school students respectively.
I think it's great. Tzu Chi is willing to give mobile phone to my child to facilitate him to do homework, so he won't miss any of it. If he doesn't receive education, I'm afraid he will suffer in the future. I don't want my kid to suffer like this.
我们接下来还会跟父母亲互动。
Next, we'll teach the parents how to encourage their children to use mobile phones correctly. Make sure they're not playing online games. The most important thing is to encourage them to learn.
鼓励他去学习。
With the tools for online study, the children also have a fair opportunity to receive education.
In Nangang district, Lane 292 of Chongyang Road is like a forgotten corner. Yet the people living there have been making the best use of their time by recycling. This group of people are all neighbors. When they see me doing recycling, I'll extend an invite, and whoever wants to come will come. There are plans for urban renewal. It started back when my husband was alive. It's been 20-some years for urban renewal, but it's nothing.
The neighbors have been waiting for over 50 years as talks of urban renewal began when they had dark hair, and now with whites in their hair, they are still waiting. Thus, they continue to safeguard their home, their fate, and also their responsibility.
Garbage comes in or even sold diapers. I have told Zhen in the past, and it's improved a lot. Now, if there are wet items, Sister Chuangzi will process it first before we get it. It does not smell as much anymore.
I wake up at 5 in the morning to wash it, then rotate and flip it about mid-morning. When it was about humid, I'll use the fan to dry it and flip it again. Finally, the bags can be sorted in the afternoon.
My son says that's smelly, don't do it anymore. I tell him, you don't understand. I'm doing this for your next generation. No one wants to do this anymore. Only the seniors now. Do you young people want to help? Others sit in one chair, I sit on 5. When I hunch my back for a while, it hurts. When I'm hurting, I will just stand for it a bit, and then against the chairs.
For Nangang to Sansha, 1 truckload of plastic is enough to cover the gas. But like the master says, we're not doing this for profit. We're doing this to save the planet.
Using their hands, which have been caring for their home, to cut out the non-recyclable parts out of the plastic, they distinguish between the different plastics with simplistic terms.
Plastic bags which hold clothing are crispy sounding and make loud noises. Then there are those that which when you pull on it will continue to pull. We teach them like that. The ones that are bumpy are bubble wrap, and I try to simplify, so it's easier for them to remember. How do we write on the bags? For PP, I tell them to draw 2 eggs and a stick, and that's the symbol for PP.
In this old neighborhood, those in their 70s are considered youngsters, as the average age is 80s. Those in their 90s have the honor of being called older sisters. Though they are in their later years, they are still a spry bunch of seniors.
Right now, we're more in need of Master Zheng Yan. It's now a bunch of us old bodhisattvas with nothing to do for the whole day, so I say we should find something to do. In the aftermath of flood in Anhui, Tzu Chi held an aid distribution after disaster survey by Tzu Chi volunteers from Jiangsu and Zhejiang.
Comparing prices and checking for quality, volunteers quickly purchase and pack up the items as they need to hurry to Anhui Province's Xi County to conduct flood relief distribution. In Jiusha and Jiangchunwan villages, Tzu Chi have brought aid in the form of living essentials for 202 households.
This adversity can become our strength if we have the confidence to overcome it and not let it block us from looking in the future. We can see that the future is brighter and better.
The residents of the two villages live on the other end of Xing'an River. Thus, the supplies must be relayed down to the boats to reach the recipients. Yao Guoping, who is wearing a yellow volunteer's vest, is the owner of the hotel the Tzu Chi volunteers are staying at. And for the last 2 days, he has brought his daughter to join Tzu Chi in volunteering.
This event is one that needs collaborative help from everyone. This isn't just one person's responsibility, it's everyone's.
I just finished my exams and I've been so glad to have met so many people in doing a good deed together. I feel especially joyful in my heart.
Knowing the flood survivors are in need of essentials, the volunteers prepared cooking oil, rice, blankets, and more, a total of 10 items.
Seeing the volunteers here in my heart, I've forgotten all about the flooding situation. I should really learn from you guys, such as going to where the trouble is and helping others. Volunteers like you give when you can, and we should do the same.
For those who can receive the 8 items in person, volunteers respectfully hand the items over, while for those who cannot be at the distribution, the volunteers make it a point to deliver it to them, as they want to ensure Tzu Chi's signature love and care reaches all those in need.
In the United States, Tzu Chi's care for Navajo Nation in Arizona continues. Tzu Chi cooperated with the local Baja Faith Gallup, sending protective materials to Navajo Nation.
Today we're going to serve about 15 families with multiple generations in each family. One family has 12, another family has close to that, another 12. And then we have different combinations of elderly with an adult, families of 5, 2 adults and 3 children, grandmother and 4 grandchildren. Which one are we looking at?
I think this is probably one of the extras that I sent you, but it's going to be part of the Lewis family. Okay, Malachi, there's some fruits and stuff in the bags for you. And like I said, there's going to be some cleaning supplies for you guys. Just make sure your parents get that, okay?
The Baha'i Faith is a worldwide religion, and its major pivotal principle is the unity and oneness of humankind. It's so natural to want to help our brothers and sisters who've been affected across the Navajo Nation. As you know, this is a really hot spot for the COVID-19.
I would just leave it there on the truck. These dogs are really unpredictable. They're dropping off some cleaning supplies. The bleach, make sure you dilute it. It's really strong.
Okay, thank you.
So you're welcome.
Thank you,
So,
thank you. He just lost his sister from that. Passed away Monday.
Oh no,
From the same virus.
It's everywhere. It is. Yeah, we lost Grandpa over there too, and it was really hard.
Jaylyn, she's embedded in service in this community, and we asked her if we could support her and her service and her outreach. And so that's what we're doing. We're accompanying Jaylyn on her path of service.
So we gave you some like produce and stuff. Was that some of the things that you were having difficulty finding?
Yeah, that'll be fine, yeah.
Okay.
We try to stay home as much as we can to keep the state from everybody. Sometimes the stuff that I need, they don't have it at the store, you know, like clothes, wipes, meat. They only limit certain food that we can have.
I've known Roseanne for a very long time, so she got a hold of me and we kind of created this effort together to reach out to these families.
You've got steel cut oats, black beans, Chinese noodles. You know, it's like you add water, the chips, you've got tomato sauce. This is considered, you know, organic and kind of high quality food. This is a pack of 5 masks and 10 gloves. I'll get you another pack of 10 masks and 20 gloves.
I have a big family. I have grandkids and my older daughters and my older son. And my husband, he's in there in the house. So I appreciate all the food. I know we're gonna make use of it. We really needed the masks and the sanitizer and the gloves.
With Tzu Chi coming through with providing these masks and gloves, we can now allocate those funds to other needed assets or supplies like bleach.
Baha'i Faith Group, because they have a long relationship and working inside the reservation, they have a very good relationship and they have contact point of people in the villages to distribute the food. But the need is for the medical mask. Tzu Chi already have the mask from Taiwan and through the member donations throughout the United States. So that's a very good cooperation effort.
The elderly do need to be protected. They need the masks, they need the gloves.
You think that we're living okay, but we're scared of the virus. And I'm trying to keep my grandkids happy. So we stay away from those areas where they meet people. They're the first people that came over to deliver the food to us. I'm just so happy. Thank you so much.
For you guys to help us out and stuff, really appreciate it, really help us out a lot. You know, it makes us feel that somebody cares about us instead of just forget about us. You know, it really touched my heart to see stuff like that, people helping the Navajo Nation.
In Xiamen, blood donation drive have resumed. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.